Hello and a very warm welcome to Game On, your one-stop shop for all things sports. I'm your host, Meha Bharadwaj Alter. On the show today, we have special interviews with Delhi Capitals coach Ricky Ponting and their opening batter, David Warner. So please stick around. But let's begin with the match coming up tonight. It's the return fixture of Chennai Super Kings and Lucknow Super Giants at Fortress Chepauk. Given how CSK's campaign has struggled away from home, the next three matches in Chennai are extremely important for them. In those, LSG will be a difficult team to beat, given not only have they beaten CSK in the first leg, Rahul's Lucknow are also well suited to the slow and low conditions at Chepauk. And with the skipper leading from the front, CSK will have their task cut out in this one.
Defending champions Chennai Super Kings will be up against Lucknow Super Giants for the second time in the span of just 4 days. The hosts will seek a revenge at Fortress Chepauk against an unpredictable LSG who on last Friday won the first match between the two sides by 8 wickets. CSK will be eager to settle the score in the reverse fixture today. Rahul and Quinton de Kock put up a record 134-run opening partnership to make all the difference as LSG joined CSK at 8 points in the IPL standings. Captain Rahul had led the victory charge from the front with his 53-ball 82. De Kock scored a resolute 54 in the number 1 position. Chennai Super Kings have been a powerful force at home, having got 3 wins this season at Fortress Chepauk. Incidentally, they have won only one of their 4 away games so far. Following the away loss in Lucknow, CSK will be eager to redeem themselves in the 3 consecutive home ties to march towards the playoffs. Skipper Ruturaj, Gaikwad and Shivam Dube have done bulk of their scoring. Dube has been a leading scorer for CSK with 245 runs from 7 innings, with Ruturaj a close second with a tally of 241 runs. Their failure against LSG meant that CSK struggled in the middle overs after their failure to get a flying start. While opener Rachin Ravindra form is a concern, CSK also promoted Ajinkya Rahane as the opener, and as the result, Gaikwad pushed himself a spot down to 3. Ravindra Jadeja stepped up a composed 50 which allowed Moeen Ali and MS Dhoni to produce late fireworks and give the team a fighting total. CSK would hope that their top order gets their act together as they face LSG again. Vintage Dhoni has been the showstopper every time he stepped out with the bat. In his 87 from 5 outings, the lead entertainer has slammed 7 fours and 8 sixes. CSK's bowling unit is being spearheaded by 2 overseas pace merchants, Mustafizur Rahman and young Matisha Pathirana. In his 6 outings, Mustafizur has accounted for 11 wickets while Pathirana has 9 from 4 matches with an impressive economy of 7.31. But the other CSK bowlers, including veteran spinner Ravindra Jadeja, have left a lot to be desired. For LSG, batting has been an issue, but they have shown how devastating they can be if their top order fires. Rahul and Quinton were on a roll in the last match and they will once again have to do the heavy lifting at Chepauk. Also, Nicholas Pooran has a top gear when needed and LSG will bank on him a lot. The Caribbean batter has been striking at 164 for his 246 from 7 innings. In bowling, LSG will hope for the return of young space sensation Mayank Yadav. The tearaway speedster had 6 wickets from 9 overs across 3 games, but had to sit out of 2 matches after suffering lower abdominal strain. Yash Thakur is the leading wicket taker for Lucknow with 8 wickets from 6 games, but the team will be expecting an inspired performance from the India international Ravi Bishnoi, who has managed just 5 wickets from 7 outings. He will also have to get over the thrashing he received from Moeen Ali in the last match. The visitors would be fancying their chances, but LSG would need consistency to pull off another win at CSK's Fortress.
Delhi Capitals haven't had a good season so far, but the DC camp is still hoping they can turn things around after they were completely outplayed by a rampaging Sunrisers Hyderabad. Delhi are currently in the 8th position with 3 wins and 5 defeats. Now, what does David Warner think of his role in DC? We'd spoken to him earlier. So let's get to that interview. David, thank you for taking the time out to talk to us. You're such a giant figure for this DC team in terms of stature and experience. How do you view the mix of talent in this squad, and what is your role outside of being an opening batter?
My role is to be the dad. Yeah, as an experienced player, you've got to keep controlling sort of your attitude and the way that you go about your game to make sure that you're the upbeat tempo, making sure the environment's great, and everyone's enjoying themselves, and the talent we have in the squad is enormous. We're seeing some great things on the field and some great things off the field, and I think a standout for us so far has been Perel. He's been outstanding. I know the game against Kings 11, he came in and scored, I think it was like 30 or 40 off not many balls, and put us into a great position to win that game. And then last game he came out and played fearless as well. So you've got Jake Fraser-McGurk as well. We know he's got talent. He's got the capabilities of going out there and smashing 4s and 6s. And he's still learning the game. So it's going to be scary to see how his future is going to be.
Now, David, you've seen it all in the IPL. Why do you reckon we are seeing such high power plays scores this season and larger totals this IPL?
I think now at the end of the day it's down to the wickets being good and just having that fearless attitude. It's the way that we play our cricket. Australians, we go out there and try and target every ball. In the first 6 we try and hit boundaries as much as we can, and when you've got good wickets and small boundaries, if it comes off and you hit the middle, it can come off. And we saw against us, Sunrisers, the 2 opening batters have played on some very good wickets so far and are in great touch. And for guys like them, it's hard to try and rein it in when they're hitting 4s and 6s at their disposal. So for us, it's about trying to emulate that and play the way that we have. We started well. Our batting's been great. Just unfortunate at this stage. We're chasing high totals. And it's the thing about our bowling is that we always bring it back very well after the first 6. We just got to start well with bat and ball.
Now, are you a fan of the impact player rule? I mean, we've already heard Rohit Sharma speak about it. Adam Gilchrist has shared his views on it.
Look, for me, it's about playing as best as we can. The rules are there in place, and we just have to abide by them.
Okay. Last question: how much fun was doing the cred ad?
The cred ad was great. It was a long shoot, but it's come up very, very well, and I really enjoyed it.
All right, David Warner, thank you so much, and we wish you all the very best. Now, DC has seen some exceptional batting performances this season despite a disappointing campaign so far. The one name that stands out is of youngster Jake Fraser-McGurk, who scored 65 of 18 deliveries in the last game. DC head coach Ricky Ponting has backed this 22-year-old from the very beginning. He'd also spoken to us earlier. Let's hear that conversation as well. Ricky, I'm going to go straight to you. Thank you so much for joining us. When you look at this DC squad, what stands out for you the most?
It stands out. So far in the tournament, it's probably been our top order batting that's been the standout for us so far. Our power play numbers with the bat have been really good. We've had a number of our players, Warner, Shaw, Jake over the last couple of games who have really started to do well for us. Khalil Ahmed's one of our leading wicket takers and one of the leading wicket takers in the tournament. So, I mean, to put my finger on one thing that's been a standout, it's a little bit difficult. And where we are right now, we probably need a little bit more than just one standout. We need everyone to come together and play some good cricket over the next few weeks.
Also, talk us through the franchise's support for Rishabh Pant during that very tough phase.
Yeah, the franchise has done an amazing job, as has Rishabh. Rishabh's worked extremely hard. If you have a look at him physically at the moment, look at the way that he's playing. We all probably felt 12 or 18 months ago that there was a chance that Rishabh might not have played cricket ever again. But I spoke to him quite a bit during last year's IPL, and he pretty much assured me that he'd be back playing again, and he said he'd be fit and healthy for this one. And he's certainly done that, and so far he's played well in the tournament, and he's giving himself every opportunity to get picked in the World Cup squad.
And do you think Rishabh Pant is good to go for the World Cup?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He's definitely physically right. His keeping's been outstanding so far. I think if there was a question mark over him, it was going to be with his wicket keeping, if he was going to be able to squat for long periods of time, but he's done that. He's batting probably as well as I've ever seen him bat before. So I think it'd be hard to leave him out of their squad for sure.
Now, you've been a backer of Jake Fraser-McGurk. Has a new IPL star been born these past couple of weeks?
Absolutely, no doubt about that whatsoever. I saw it I saw it in glimpses this year in the BBL. You know, it's taken Jake really a couple of years to find his feet in the Big Bash back in Australia, but there was some stuff this year that happened that made him a real standout in my eyes. And obviously when we had the chance as a replacement player to come and join us here at Delhi Capitals, we grabbed the opportunity with both hands. And I think we've all seen over the last couple of weeks what this young man is capable of, and he's still very much, you know, the unfinished product as well. I'd love to be able to work with him one-on-one for long periods of time and just sort of refine some of those rough edges, but it's a very exciting package that we're seeing so far.
Well, Ricky Ponting, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. Hope DC can turn things around this season. All the very best. We will now move on and take a short break, in fact, at this point. And when we return, let's also talk about the match from last night. A superb century from Yashasvi Jaiswal, and don't forget Sandeep Sharma's 5-4. All of that when we return.
Luxury is now becoming a need rather than something that you aspire to be. So that is adding a lot of fuel. Obviously, government has played a vital role in it.
In a city like Mumbai, a luxury home may be something upwards of rupees 10 crores. In city like Delhi, again, maybe something upwards of 8-9 crores. But in Bangalore, we typically define a luxury home, anything which is upwards of about 3 crores.
It's a combination of increased wealth, availability of more luxurious homes, and simultaneously the overall economy doing better.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Welcome back. Let's talk about the match from last night. A superb unbeaten century from Yashasvi Jaiswal headlined Rajasthan Royals' 9-wicket win over Mumbai Indians at the Savai Mansingh Stadium in Jaipur. One which further consolidated RR's place at the top of the IPL 2024 points table and left the 5-time winners MI staring at elimination from the playoffs race. Set a target of 180 after Sandeep Sharma claimed 5 wickets in his return to the Royals. The home team chased it down in 18.4 overs for the loss of just 1 wicket. With Jaiswal returning to form with an unbeaten 104 of 60 balls. With this win, RR gave their home crowd a fitting farewell as the Jaipur leg of their IPL campaign was closed out on a high. The Royals won 4 of their 5 home games at the Savai Mansingh Stadium, and they now embark on a 6-match away journey, and they're already on 14 points with their spot in the playoffs all but confirmed. Now for Mumbai Indians, it was another day to forget after out-of-form skipper Hardik Pandya opted to bat. Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan were dismissed by Trent Bolt and Sandeep respectively as MI slipped to 6 for 2 in 9 balls. And things turned worse when Suryakumar Yadav mistimed a shot of Sandeep to leave MI at 20 for 3. Tilak Verma's 45 ball 65, an aggressive 49 of 24 deliveries from Nihal Vadera in the partnership of 99 put the innings back on track. But just when the two-set batters had a platform from where to tee off and get Mumbai's score close to 200, the wickets began to fall. Bolt returned to get Vadera off the first ball of the 17th over, and from 151 for 5 with 23 deliveries left in the innings, all MI could end up with was 179 for 9. Sandeep returned to take 3 wickets and thus seal a terrific 5-wicket haul as Hardik Pandya and Tim David completely shut down at the death. RR's chase began promisingly as Jaiswal put on 74 in 8 overs with Jos Buttler and getting out of the power play for just the second time in this IPL in fact proved a turning point for the 22-year-old. Buttler was the only wicket to fall, the Englishman making 35 of 25 balls before he was bowled by Piyush Chawla, but by then Jaiswal had found his groove. The left-handed opener got to his first 50 of the season and then shifted gears, swatting his way to a second IPL century. His previous one had also been scored against MI, even hitting Jasprit Bumrah for a 6 on the way to an unbeaten 104. Jaiswal hit the winning runs as well after adding a century stand with his skipper Sanju Samson, who finished on 38 from 28 balls. With this loss, MI remain at 7th place with 3 wins from 8 games. Now, what makes young Yashasvi Jaiswal's century from last night's IPL match specials not just that he finally delivered for Rajasthan Royals after a lean run of form, but what this innings augurs for the Indian cricket team ahead of the T20 World Cup in June. It was Jaiswal's outstanding efforts for RR in the 2023 IPL that finally pitchforked him into the Indian team. And after a successful 10 months at the international level, during which he excelled at tests in a few T20 opportunities, it was expected that Jaiswal had sealed his place as one of India's openers at the World Cup this summer. But this IPL season began on a sour note for the 22-year-old, and his form had reached a point at which people were wondering whether Jaiswal had played himself out of India's first 11 at the World Cup. In 7 innings for Rajasthan before yesterday's game, Jaiswal had scored a meager 121 runs at an average of 17.29 and a strike rate of 145 for 8 with the highest score of 39. Worryingly, only once during these 7 innings had he managed to bat out the power plays overs. But in 6 innings, he'd been dismissed in either the first, second or the 5th overs of the innings. But true to his talent and perseverance, Jaiswal delivered at the right time to lead his franchise to a big win over Mumbai Indians. And the key to this was spending time at the wicket. Jaiswal struck his first boundary, a 6 of Gerald Coetzee off his 8th ball faced, and then 2 fours to end out the 4th over. Then he was rattled by Coetzee's pace, which was clocked at over 150 kilometers per hour, but stood his ground to see out the power play on 31 of 18 balls. A rain delay after 6 overs gave Jaiswal the chance to reassess his innings, and on resumption of play, he looked a more confident batter as he started to attack MI's 2 spinners, Mohammad Nabi and Piyush Chawla, by hitting them for 6s. His first 50 of the season came up off 31 deliveries, and from there, Jaiswal needed just 28 balls to move to his century. The celebration said it all, as the relief and the joy of getting to a milestone was writ large on the youngster's face. His innings featured 8 fours and 7 sixes. Even though Jaiswal was aided by some drop catches by MI's sloppy catchers, there was no denying the class and determination of his comeback innings, one that has sealed Jaiswal's place in India's T20 World Cup squad. Now, while Jaiswal's 100 headlined RR's 9-wicket win, the player of the match was Sandeep Sharma, whose 5 wickets played a big role in Mumbai Indians being restricted to 179. And during an IPL in which batters have started taking full toll off the power play overs and where the boundaries of T20 scorings have been pushed to a new level, a performance like Sandeep's yesterday does deserve praise. For it was his early wickets of Rohit Sharma and Suryakumar Yadav that checked MI and ensured they did not dominate the power play. While his final spell of 3 wickets for 3 runs in the last over of MI's innings was brilliant, Sandeep claimed his 5 wickets for the cost of just 18 runs, bowling superbly in the power play and then at the death to bag the match honours. Now factor in that this was his first game for RR since March 28th, and the achievement gains further magnitude. In the first few games of RR's campaign, Sandeep was used mainly as a holding option in the back end of the opponent's innings, where his yorkers and changes of pace proved difficult to hit. But then he picked up an injury and sat on the bench for 3 weeks, during which time Kuldeep Sen played and did decently well. As soon as Sandeep was past fit, RR drafted him back into the playing 11, and his skipper Sanju Samson gave him a new role for yesterday's game, that of bowling with a new ball in the power play alongside Trent Bolt. The move proved to be a masterstroke as Sandeep took 2 wickets in the 2 overs that he bowled at the top while conceding a mere 4 runs. Unheard of his IPL's power play trend over the past 1 month. An 11-run 15 overs saw Samson take Sandeep out of the attack and keep him for the 20th over. And what a sensational over it turned out to be for his team. Sandeep Sharma on RR's starry night in Jaipur. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, with that, we are going to slip into a short break. When we return, what's the point table doing? We've got to look at the points table, see who's at the top. We know who's at the top, but what about the others? Tell you all of that when we return.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry, right? But I think lab-grown diamond has allowed them to actually use their skills in the same product.
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
Welcome back to Game On. Let's see the points table now. Rajasthan Royals enjoy a 4-point lead at the top of the standings after a dominant 9-wicket victory over Mumbai Indians at home, courtesy of a 59-ball century by Yashasvi Jaiswal. Kolkata Knight Riders are in the second spot with 10 points, but they have the best NRR among all the teams of 1.206. Sunrisers Hyderabad, who are defining power play batting, are in the third spot with 10 points as well. Chennai's campaign has stuttered away from home and they are in the fourth place with 8 points. Lucknow and Gujarat also have 8 points each, but Lucknow have a better net run rate. And then there is Mumbai and DC. They are in the 7th and the 8th positions with 6 points each. Punjab Kings have won just 2 of their 8 games, while RCB languishing at the bottom of the table, all but out of the playoffs race with 1 win from 8 matches. Okay, this is a wonderful story. Gukesh Tomaraju became the youngest player to win the men's candidates chess tournament after a draw against Hikaru Nakamura on a nail-biting final day of the double round-robin event in Toronto on Sunday. The 17-year-old Grandmaster effectively wrapped up victory in the tournament after American Fabiano Caruana blundered a winning position against Russian EM Nepomuceno to be held to a draw. Gukesh's draw with the black pieces put him on 9 of 14 with Nakamura, Nepomuceno and Caruana finished on 8.5. The youngest winner of the candidates tournament was Garry Kasparov, who was 20 when he prevailed in 1984, a year before sealing the World Championship title against fellow Russian Anatoly Karpov. Gukesh, who was one of the 3 Indian players in the 8-man candidates tournament, will face China's Ding Liren for the title later this year. World number 1 Magnus Carlsen, a 5-time classical chess world champion, relinquished his title last year, citing a lack of motivation. Listen in to what Gukesh had to say.
Right now, I'm just so relieved and so happy. I was following this crazy game, and I was completely emotional. But now after the game finished, now I'm feeling quite good. The main thing was that I was just in a right mindset throughout the event. From the start to the end, I was in good spirits and I was fully motivated, and I really wanted to win the event. And yeah, when all these things come together, also it was helpful that I was sharp enough chess wise, and I managed to play some good chess. But yeah, I would say mainly my mental attitude in this tournament was very, very good.
Well, congratulations to Gukesh. The next story is about the champions of the sporting world converging in Madrid, Spain, for the 25th Laureus Awards, where Novak Djokovic created history to secure a record equaling 5th Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award. Spain's World Cup winning midfielder Aitana Bonmati was named the Sportswoman of the Year. 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady handed Djokovic his 5th Laureus Award after The top-ranked tennis player enjoyed a remarkable 2023, reaching all 4 majors finals and then winning 3 to equal Margaret Court's all-time record haul of 24 Grand Slam titles. Djokovic won majors at the Australian Open, Roland Garros and the US Open, missing out only at Wimbledon where he fell to Carlos Alcaraz in a 5-set final. He ended the year by winning a record 7th ATP Finals title and by claiming year-end #1 presented by PIF for a record 8th time. Aitana Bonmati, who has cemented her place at the top of women's football by winning FIFA's The Best, Ballon d'Or and World Cup MVP, among other accomplishments, made her way onto the stage for a second time as the Spanish women's football team were named Team of the Year, the first female squad to win the award. And then there was Jude Bellingham, the English midfielder. He won the Laureus Breakthrough of the Year award, becoming the first footballer to do so. Okay, with that, it's a wrap on this special, but we leave you with this. David Warner having a bit of fun on social media. What is it that he wants most in India? Watch this.
वार्नर, चलना मूवी देखने चलते भाई।
नहीं यार।
अरे वो देख वहाँ पे भंडारा हो रहा है, फ्री में खाना मिल रहा है, चलना चलते हैं।
नहीं यार।
अच्छा। ओ भाई वो देख कितनी सुंदर लड़की है, चलना वहाँ पे चलते हैं।
नहीं यार।
लेकिन 1 सेकंड। अरे वहाँ पे आधार कार्ड कौन बना रहा है फ्री में?
हाँ चलो 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 चलो।
India's ever-evolving urban landscape is witnessing a new revolution. And this one comes on 4 wheels.
The affluence has been growing. Cars are becoming more a reflection of what you are.
Nobody's talking about hatchbacks. Now what next? The next is the SUV.
The contribution of SUVs is close to 55-60% of the automobile sales these days.
Is that even manufacturers like to sell SUVs?
So, how did a nation obsessed with fuel